Hello there, this is Bisola Miriam, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about another interesting fitness related topic. Let's begin. So, people have asked me this question, and the question is, okay, BM, I really want to do this fitness thing, but you know what? I'm not motivated. My body is not responding. I don't even know how to start. And so let's talk really. Let's talk heart to heart. So now you see, one thing I want you to learn is the brain is what you need to work on. It's not the body. Because when the brain begins to work on by default or operate by default, the body would automatically operate by default. In other words, if your brain is programmed to see the benefit in fitness or working out, your body would respond. Or if you make your brain believe something, the body will definitely respond to that idea. So how then does this idea work, or how did people come about this idea of programming? So let me give you two quick analogies to drive home my points. Now, the first analogy is, think about the computer. The personal computer that you use, right, has an MS Word or a Microsoft, Excel or Microsoft Word. Now think about your personal computer. You open the personal computer, open the Microsoft Word page, and then you start typing. You type a document. Now, when you're done typing that document, what happens? Maybe you decide to print it out or send it to someone via email. When you print it out or send it to someone via email, nothing else will be in that document but exactly what you typed in, meaning the program, the data that you enter is what would be reproduced. Right? So the idea is what you entered into that computer is what comes out. Now let me share with you a scientific theory that would help me explain to you why you don't need to bother about your body but your brain. So let's talk about the placebo effect. So the placebo effect came about as a result of a scientific experiment that was carried out. This scientific experiment had, to do this experiment, people who were suffering from a certain disease or illness were brought, for this experiment. Now, these people were not given the actual drug that was meant to heal their disease, but they were given something, but they were told that that was the actual drug. A pseudo drug was administered, false drug, I beg your pardon, was administered. These people their brain believed that what they were given was the actual drug, and because their brain believed it, they started responding based on what they were given. So as a matter of fact, they were not given the real medicine, but because they were made to believe, and the brain could not tell the difference, because that was what the brain heard, right, perceived or agreed with. And because of the agreement between the information, that the data that was entered to their brain, more like the computer, that you are working on, and the data you enter into it, because of what the brain believed, their body began to respond. Isn't that powerful? Isn't that magical? So let me share with you how you can program your brain to thinking or believing that exercise is your way to heaven. Let's talk. So one thing that I've come to realize about the brain is the brain responds to pattern. The brain responds to repetition. The brain responds to habits. Okay? Pattern, repetition, habits. So just think about it. You wake up around a certain time, and somehow you keep waking up around that time. Think about it. You have breakfast around a certain time. Somehow you keep, having breakfast around that time. Somehow you go to bed around a certain time. You scroll social media around a certain time. You wear a certain dress during certain days of the week, and somehow the brain begins to get acquainted, get used to that pattern, that cycle, okay, that repetition, that pattern. And before you know it, that pattern becomes a habit, right? Now, if you eat a certain food and you keep repeating that habit, you keep doing it, it becomes a pattern. And before you know it, the brain get used to that pattern. And what happens? The body accommodates that lifestyle, that pattern. So you see, leave your body. Let's deal with your brain, people. When you work on your brain, and how do you work on your brain? By breaking cycles, patterns, habits that you do not like. Break habits that you do not want so that your brain can what? Get adjusted to the habits that you want. In the past weeks, I've been struggling with certain deadlines and so much more that I began to wake up at a time that I normally would not wake up. And over time, my brain began to get used to that pattern, that interruption in my schedule. And in the last 2 weeks after that interruption, guess what? My body is still following that same pattern. My brain is still working with that same pattern, even though my body doesn't want it. So what I'm teaching you here is you don't need to deal with the body, you need to deal with the brain. So one of the steps to take is, let's start with your food. How then do you break from eating what you don't want so that your body can get adjusted to the lifestyle you desire? Awaken your mental, your senses to desire something else. Begin to imagine a life that is fitness conscious and a life that is not pro-fitness, okay? Inculcate the habit of sleeping at a certain time, eating breakfast at a certain time, or eating certain breakfast, or infusing certain things in your food. Start with the first day. Gradually move to day 2, then day 3, and then day 4, and then day 5. Yes, maybe you might make a mistake on day 3 or day 4, but pick it back. Pick it up, pick yourself up from where you stopped, and tell the brain to go back to the pattern you started, the new pattern you were creating. It's not going to be easy, but as you keep going back and going back and helping the brain to get adjusted to that new pattern, before time the brain would follow suit. And you know what? Of course, the body would respond. And that's how this works. The second principle I want to share with you is begin to teach your brain certain habits, certain patterns, okay, or repetition. You need to also teach the brain desire, okay? You need to teach your brain to desire or to feel certain feeling or to experience certain feeling. So you need to begin to stimulate your brain by sitting down and just closing your eyes and fantasizing about some new food or some new kind of experiences that your body is not used to. Okay, imagine sitting down and fantasizing about replacing chicken with fish, fantasizing about how tasty that would be, how tasty that fish would feel. I mean, the taste of the fish on your tongue or the taste of the orange juice on your tongue as a replacement for coffee. Or you start fantasizing about how your body would feel or how you would feel in that dress when you wear it and you feel more comfortable than you used to feel, right? That's the idea, because you need to understand that this really has nothing to do with some, it's not that complex. It is as simple as programming, repetition, pattern, and over time the pattern becomes a habit, and desire is at the very core of this programming. The brain responds to emotions, and if you cannot emotionalize the idea of living a good life, you can never have it. So I hope this video helps you today, and if you found it useful, I want you to consider pre-ordering my book, Walk Out from Depression. In that book, I shared extensively the different strategies that would help you live a healthier life. I find the book personally interesting because it's an everyday book. It's my go-to guide for a healthier life, and I want you to get the book. If you do get the book on pre-order right now, guess what? You get automatic entry into my coaching community for a month for free, and you also get to experience what my coaching community feels like and the kind of coaches or the people that you get a chance to work with when you join that community. I hope you do. I'm really excited to see you, and I hope that you join us soon. Now, thank you so much for watching this video. If you do find this useful, do me something right now. Like the video, share it, subscribe, comment below. Let me know if any of this makes sense or I'm just simply talking to myself. Wait, am I talking to myself? I don't know. Tell me. So if you found this useful, let me know and share this. Let's make it go viral. And of course, I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Take care and bye.